Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and today we're going to talk about Jey Uso on Smackdown, January the 15th, 2021. So Jey Uso comes out and he's talking about, he's getting out there, he's prepared for his match with Shinsuke Nakamura. And he's saying things like, this is the Bloodline show. The Bloodline run this show. Not just SmackDown, by the way, but WWE, period. We're going to get to that point of we're going to take over, period. And then he says that, people need to start getting in the habit of saying, thank you, Roman. You got fresh towels in the back. Thank you, Roman. Got hot food and catering. Thank you, Roman. Millions of people watching, making you relevant. Thank you, Roman. He is such a good ass kisser. Like, he was great against Roman. He's also great with Roman. Like, he's taking up the lackey role with full zeal. Like, he's really getting in there when it comes to being a lackey. And so he says that, he's declaring himself for the Royal Rumble. He's going to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to beat up Drew McIntyre or Oldberg. He called him Oldberg. And win the WWE Championship. And then the bloodline his entire bloodline, his family going to run the WWE. And so then he turns his attention, and that's a beautiful thing, right? I love that, but I'm at the point now where I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, how much of this, because we already know that Jey has a tendency to go too far. Jey has a tendency to get a little too overzealous. Is it too overzealous for Jey to think that he's going to be able to enter the Royal Rumble without Roman's permission? Is it too overzealous to think that he's going to be able to challenge Drew McIntyre without Roman's permission? Maybe. If they could always pull some strings and say, well, the winner of the Royal Rumble main event's WrestleMania. You think you're going to main event WrestleMania over me? Something like that. And that would be interesting. Of course, we know Jey is not going to win, but it's interesting conversation to have. We already having these layers of within SmackDown. It's an interesting conversation to have. So he turns his attention to Shinsuke Nakamura. And he's talking about, like, okay, we got this unfinished business with Shinsuke Nakamura. And that Shinsuke Nakamura should be thanking them. And then Shinsuke comes out to his old theme song. His babyface thing. Babyface Shin is back. Everybody is super excited. And rightfully so. Because it's the theme everybody likes. Shinsuke Nakamura is back as a babyface, which is the best role for him. He shouldn't be talking, though, because he talked in this segment. Because he said, if Roman Reigns is the big dog, that makes you his little puppy. And Jey Uso got upset about that and got knocked down. It didn't matter. So then they have this match. And the match is good, obviously. Two good workers. It's a good match. So during the match, Cesaro comes out. And Cesaro is still a heel. Cesaro goes on commentary. He's on commentary talking about Shinsuke Nakamura. So he's on commentary. He's like, he was asked, why didn't you come help Shinsuke last week when he was getting his brains beat in by Roman and Jey Uso? He says, do you know how big this arena is? By the time I got there, it was over. I was like, bull fucking shit. Bullshit. I could have swore I heard that. I think I heard somebody from AEW say that. Didn't somebody from AEW say that? That why they didn't save somebody was because the facility was so big, they were on the other side of it. I forget who said that, but that was such a classic bullshit line. Cesaro is still a heel, right? And it's clear that he's still a heel. So he was talking about so he's talking about when he wins the Royal Rumble. And I love that also when they was talking about Cesaro, they was talking about him winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And they talk about how him winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is preparation for him winning the Royal Rumble. Even though it's not the same thing. Even though it's not the same thing, they're kind of equating it to it. He won a big battle royal, the first ever. So he's prepared for battle royals. This Royal Rumble is looking pretty fucking sweet, by the way. So Jey Uso, was in control for a little while. He countered Kinshasa with a super kick, which was a pretty dope spot. He rolled up Nakamura, had him pinned, but his feet were on the ropes. And Charles Robinson saw it. And Charles Robinson stopped the count, saying, no count. His feet was on the ropes. And Jey got pissed. Was like, what are you doing? Your job is to count to 3, not to make sure where my feet are. What's wrong with you? So Jey was distracted. He was upset. He turned around, boom, Kinshasa get pinned. Distraction finish. Cesaro comes into the ring, celebrates with Nakamura. He looks very suspicious. He looks very suspicious. he looks very suspicious. And I think we're going Nakamura Cesaro with this feud. And you know what? I'm not upset about that. I'm not. So afterwards, Jey Uso is in the back. He's giving Charles Robinson the business. And he's like, bro, all you got to do is count to 3. And Robinson's like, I did my job. Your feet were on the ropes. Like, his shoulders were down. Like, yeah, his shoulders were down. Yes, he was down for 3. Yes, but your feet were on the ropes. And he was like, look, count to 3, dog. What are you doing? Like, didn't your daughter just get married? And you out here about to lose your job. Like, Roman ain't gonna like this. So Charles Robinson gets threatened to get fired for doing his job properly. He did his job right, and they were still going to talk about firing this guy. I love that. That's heels obsessed with power and control and being, having their fingers in every pot, having a string on everybody. Everybody's got something for Roman or Jey or Heyman to pull, right? Now, when it comes to Charles Robinson, his daughter just got married. So, father of the bride pays for everything, right? So, is he broke now? Is that what we're supposed to believe? Are we supposed to believe that Charles Robinson is broke? Or is it just that he just needs his job? Because that still works in that situation. I love that. Because it's now when Charles Robinson is the referee of a match that involves Jey Uso or Roman Reigns, we got that extra layer of storytelling. Is he going to do the right thing? Or is he going to cut some corners? Maybe pretend he didn't see the foot on the ropes. Maybe pretend he didn't see the low blow. Maybe pretend he didn't see the steel chair or whatever, right? That's such an excellent thing to add to the storyline. And I know that sometimes I complain about the heel referee, especially in Mexico, because their heel referees are entirely too involved. Like there was like Nick Patrick used to be when it comes to the NWO. He was entirely too involved. Sometimes the heel referee is too involved. They're doing too much. Like, they're literally helping the heels win. The kicking and doing low blows and stuff like that. Like, all you need to do is some subtle shit. Not wanting to count the 3. Having spasms. Like, my leg, I can't kneel. I can't kneel to do the 3 count. Something in my eye. I turned my eye and he used the brass knuckles. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But I think that's eventually where we're going with this. That, okay, Roman got swerved because Kevin Owens is going to be in this match and not Adam Pearce. But is it that Roman's going to pick Charles Robinson to be the referee? That Charles Robinson is going to be the referee after Jey Uso accosted him and intimidated him. So now Kevin Owens may be in this match, but he's going to have a biased referee. That would be fantastic stuff. That would be great storytelling. Of course, you're compromising Charles Robinson, but Charles Robinson has been compromised before. He was low Nate. Compromising the referees, you could always purify a referee later. Take them off TV for a little while, bring them back, purify them later. I like when normally I do like when referees are invisible. Doesn't matter who the referee is. But I also like when they occasionally use the referee. A referee needs to be used occasionally because it is another person in the ring, right? That the referee and how the referee does, how the referee counts, how the referee, moves around the ring, all that stuff matters. It all matters. It's all very important. So we're seeing that Jey and Roman and all these people, they realize, you need to be able to control everybody on the field, which is very good. I love that. I think that that's fantastic. So Jey had a rough night. He got beat by Shinsuke Nakamura, and I think that we go with Nakamura and Cesaro. They seem to really be building up Cesaro too. Cesaro, I might as well talk about that here because I feel like instead of making a separate video for it, Daniel Bryan is training with the Alpha Academy, and they're being goofballs. They're doing hip exercises, and they're doing. It was absolutely silly, by the way. So they're doing hip exercises, and they're talking about hips, 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 and so Cesaro shows up and like, what are you doing? Like Daniel Bryan is talking to Caleb Braxton about the efficacy of the effectiveness of the Alpha Academy training exercises, and Daniel Bryan talks about they have a what do you say, a pursuit of excellence, and that they bring fresh new approaches that are all about positivity. It's like really corny shit. It's like really corny shit, So Cesaro shows up and he's like, what are you doing? Like, you've been training with these goofs. You're not going to win the Royal Rumble like that. And then Daniel Bryan's like, oh, you doubt our training exercises? Like, you doubt how good we are? How about I show you tonight? And Cesaro's like, okay, I guess. They had already announced that this match was going to happen. Cesaro is still being a heel. He's still talking about Shinsuke Nakamura only shaked your hand because he was pity. It was for pity. It was a pity handshake. You're pathetic. So then they have this fantastic match. Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan. Really fucking good match. Cesaro wins clean. Clean as a whistle. Clean as a collection plate. And I said to myself, Daniel Bryan is really trying hard to get over people. He is really jobbing himself out every week. God bless Daniel Bryan. Because he truly believes that he can get over this stuff. Now, if they had any idea of him winning the Royal Rumble, I'd have no doubt after he lost to Cesaro, he's not winning the Royal Rumble. Not because, Cesaro is like a bottom feeder or anything like that, but they wouldn't have a guy that they're going to have win the Royal Rumble lose so often, Like, that maybe after the fact, because WWE has a problem with, if you win the Money in the Bank, you turn around and you lose your next 8 matches, just to take some heat off of you so you can get the heat when you turn on the Money in the Bank. You win the Royal Rumble, then they start beating you to death. That's that 50-50 stupid shit, right? So is it possible that they're beating down Daniel Bryan before his match before he wins the Royal Rumble, and then he's going to be invincible Daniel Bryan afterwards? Or is it the fact that, they're just trying to lure people into watching the Royal Rumble by saying Daniel Bryan is going to be in it, and then Daniel Bryan is going to lose? Either way, the match with Cesaro and Daniel Bryan was fucking amazing. Specifically, there's always some really good stuff that they did. We could go, blow by blow in this match. But I love that Daniel Bryan worked the arm, and the arm started with a bulldog to the arm. So basically, he rode the guys to the ground using his arm. I like that Cesaro ducked that kick from Daniel Bryan outside the ring and had Daniel Bryan kick the ring post. I like the tilt-a-whirl into the yes lock. I thought that was a beautiful spot. I like that Cesaro countered it into the swing and then immediately into a sharpshooter. It wasn't comedic like the swing usually is with the people counting the revolutions. He just did it and then went straight into the sharpshooter. I loved all of that stuff, but the best part was the suplex. Daniel Bryan gets him up on the turnbuckle. He's trying to do a hurricanrana, and Cesaro reverses it, and he does like this beautiful corkscrew suplex off the second rope. And I was like, Cesaro was the fucking man. And this match did not take 40 minutes. It didn't take 40 minutes. It went through like 3 segments. It was probably like 10 minutes, maybe. You know? So this was really good. All of this stuff is really good. And this Nakamura Cesaro thing is really starting to heat up. Obviously, they're going to end up feuding. I love that they're building up Cesaro, talking about his Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal win. You know, how that prepares him for the Royal Rumble. They're talking now about Nakamura winning the Royal Rumble. You know, they act like that didn't happen just a couple weeks ago. It was acting like he never done anything. Just a couple weeks ago, Corey Graves couldn't even remember that Shinsuke Nakamura was the Intercontinental Champion. Now they're talking about all his achievements. You know, so it goes to show that WWE, when they burying people, they just choose to not mention certain things. Oh, let's not talk about him being a champion. Let's not talk about him being this kind of champion. Let's not talk about that stuff. They're very selective with that kind of shit. And it's very frustrating, if we're being honest. It's very, very frustrating. But I'm glad they're talking about it now. You know, Jey Uso got some explaining to do because he lost to Nakamura, but then he can blame the referee. The referee got some explaining to do. Why is he not doing his job? You know, Cesaro and Nakamura, are they friends? Are they not friends? Or is Cesaro being fake? Which I think that's obviously the case. He sees Nakamura as a threat now. You know, they did a great job of showing that Nakamura is a babyface and Cesaro is a heel. They did a great job. They used Daniel Bryan to do that. They used, you know, how Cesaro on commentary, which he, you know, he almost never goes on commentary. You know, they used him for that. They're using the talent that they have. It's a beautiful fucking thing. And but more than that, they're using relationships. Because now, my question now is, are we going to see something between Daniel Bryan and the Alpha Academy? You know, because since he started training with the Alpha Academy, doing the hips thing, he's been losing. You know, they won, I think that tag team match was probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but he was training with them when he lost in the gauntlet, you know, and then Caleb Braxton asked him, like, hey, is training with the Alpha Academy like the right thing to do? You know, and he was like, yeah, it's fine. And then Cesaro asked us basically the same question, said these guys are a joke, you know, and he's lost. He lost to Cesaro after Cesaro called the Alpha Academy training a joke. So what do we do? Are we going to continue down that road of eventually Daniel Bryan saying, look, this Alpha Academy thing is not going to work out? I think I'm going to have to do something else. And it's probably going to lead to Daniel Bryan versus Chad Gable, which I would love. That would put Chad Gable on the map. It would if Daniel Bryan hadn't lost to everybody else. Now he's giving away so many losses, it doesn't matter anymore. But it's very intriguing. It's multi-layered. That's why it's hard for me to break these things up into different stories. You know, like, this is really good shit. This is really good shit. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. I thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah.